Hi everybody, my name is Mary Hall Scott and I will be a distributor for the new Xion. This is definitely an opportunity that I'm extremely excited about, as the Xion is going to be a game changer in the permanent cosmetic world. So I'm going to try and make a really short video and answer some of the questions that I'm receiving. Watching videos that are made for the body art industry, since the Xion will be able to do both, sometimes are a little bit confusing and the verbiage we don't quite connect with. So I'm going to show you how it's going to affect us in the permanent cosmetic world. So this is a Xion that I have been using, and I have done eyebrows, eyeliner, and lips with it. It is amazing. I also have been using the critical power source like you see in most of Gaston's videos. So when we talk about the cam, first of all, here's the RCA connection. When you hear the word RCA connection, that's just how we plug the power source into the Xion. That goes into the end. When you hear them talk about the cam, if you just turn this like a quarter of a turn, you can take off the motor, and this is the motor bolt system. This little piece right here is the cam. For permanent makeup artists, I have been using a 2.5, which is going to be pretty universal for us. I think they plan on coming out with maybe a 2.1, but this is going to affect our strokes. So if you think about and you compare a 2.5 to a 4.0, if you have your machine and you can come back a distance of 4, you've got more room here. So you've got more momentum moving forward and can have a harder hit. If you only come back 2.5, you don't have as much distance here. So the momentum isn't as great. You're going to have a little bit softer of a hit. Obviously, for us in the permanent cosmetic world, especially when it comes to the face, we don't need as hard of a hit. We're dealing with a lot thinner tissue than the body artists are. So in a lot of the videos, you'll see they may talk about a 3.7. The one that I've been using is a 2.5. And again, this is the cam. There will be a couple options available for the permanent makeup world, but this is adjustable. You will take this out, put the 2.1 in, and use that if you want even a softer hit. I believe it's going to be a 2.1. So this just gently goes back in, quarter of a turn, your machine is back together. So that's the cam. The other thing that you've seen is if you take this part off, I didn't quite get that in there. This also is the give, or going to adjust the hit. So this black piece right here on the top, I don't know if I can do this so you can see it, but this turns, and there's an S and there's an H. So you turn it one way, and again, the needle is going to hit the skin harder. So we have a 2.5 cam, and with that cam, we are going to be able to adjust for a softer or a harder hit. So what will make sense to you is if we adjust it for a harder hit, and we put this back on, then what I would do is I would take, let's see here. This right here is the cartridges that I've been testing that I love, but this is a 3 liner. So if we're going to hit the skin harder, that's the perfect opportunity to do a liner, right? So I put in a 3 liner, I connect it to my power source, and remember I've got it adjusted so it will hit the skin a little bit harder, and I turn it on. Now with the pen, we're going to have, just like we do with most pens, the ability to adjust how far out the needle comes, because we all have a different preference when it comes to that. So now I have the machine adjusted, the Xion adjusted to hit the skin a little bit harder, and I have an aligner cartridge. So now if I'm tattooing a lip, for instance, I can go around and line the lip. I want that to hit a little bit harder, I want it crisp, I want it clean, I want a little bit more pigment in there maybe. Okay, so I'm done along the lash line, or I'm done outlining the lip, or I've gotten some hair strokes in the eyebrows, and now I want a shadow, right? And I just want it to be softer. So I'm going to take out the liner cartridge. I am going to take off the top of my machine, and then I'm just going to turn this, and I'm going to turn this towards the softer version, okay, or the softer direction. Then I'm going to put this back on, and now I have a shader needle, okay? So I'm going to take that out. Many different cartridges fit into this. I'm going to put this in, turn it on. Now I have the Xion set to hit softer because I've turned it towards the S on the inside, and I have a shader needle. So now I'm going to have a softer shader effect with the pen. And again, I can adjust my critical, and I can adjust the speed up and down just like we can. Voltage is our speed in our pens today in the permanent makeup world. So because there are so many cartridges that will be able to be used with this, I've also got some that are bug pins, which I really like to use. So the cartridges are going to be endless. The ones that I'm experimenting with and probably will distribute with the pen are VIP cartridges, which are running $1.40 a cartridge. So that is a fabulous deal. They store a lot of ink, and you can order a huge variety of cartridges within that brand. So that is the Xion. I hope that helps. Cartridges are snap-on, snap-off. You can turn it to adjust how far out you want the needle to come, just like with any other pen. By taking off this end, you can adjust how soft or how hard you want it to hit the skin, depending on whether you're lining or you're shading. Screws right back on, super easy. You can do a quarter of a turn on this end and adjust your cam. So the possibilities are endless. The price of this is going to be a range from $5.99 to $6.25. There is some talk of a skinnier one coming out for permanent makeup artists. So to be honest, for $6.25 for the price of this machine, I probably will end up with two of them. One that I can leave to set with a harder setting and do more lining, and then have the other one set up to be a shader. Then when I'm doing my lips or my eyebrows, all I have to do is set down one pen and pick up the other one. So the cost is extremely reasonable, the cartridges are extremely reasonable, and the possibilities are endless. So I hope that helps. Thanks.